93, 93, 93. This is Aman Ashrenou from ashrenou.com. We back in here once again. Another late night live stream, midnight West Coast time, about 3 a.m. East Coast time. All right. In this particular segment, we will be speaking on you are the energy that makes the world go round. But don't expect the credit or recognition. The reason I say this is, excuse me, I literally just had rice, beans, and vegetables. So let me put these on. There we go. So what made me think about this particular title is we understand that it's hard for people to play their position in the sense of nobody wants to be number two. We are in a different type of era. We are no longer in an era where you can say teamwork works the way that it used to, in the sense of everybody just plays their position, everybody just gets money, and everybody's cool. Like, for example, you got the engineer. The engineer just wants to be the engineer. The producer just wants to be the producer. The rapper or the singer, the musician just wants to be the musician. The promoter just wants to be the promoter. The marketer just wants to be the marketer. The distributor just wants to be the distributor. The manufacturer just wants to be the manufacturer, right? Now, in these days and times, now that we are in the 21st century, we must always understand the numerology will tell you exactly what is going on in the consciousness of the people, which is why we can't take anything personal. Meaning, the way that people are now, it's not that one day they woke up and they made the decision to be the way that they are. We are all subjected to planetary influence, whether we like it or not, whether we understand it or not, right? Astrology is always in effect, again, whether we believe it or not, because it all goes down to mathematics. So when these times of again the 21st century, remember there's 21 cards in the major arcana. Not 21 cards, but the last card is the 21st degree from 0 to 21. So you must include the 0, because before it was 1 to 22. But once we started to acknowledge the 0, it became 0 to 21. So 21 becomes the final degree, which of course is the world card or the universe card, depending on which tarot deck you acknowledge. So when we go to this particular degree, and when we really study what it's really trying to convey to us, it represents the completion of alchemy, meaning you start from the fool, which is somebody who just has a divine inspiration, but they may not necessarily know where it leads. Like if you look at the Fool card, especially in the Rider Waite deck, I believe the card, it looks like, a man is about to walk off of a ledge, and pretty much the only thing that he has is what he can carry on his back, right? So the only thing he owns is what he can carry on his back, and it looks as if he's about to walk off of a cliff. This is where many of us start, meaning many of us start by divine inspiration. Whether you had a spiritual experience, something activated you and made you want to go in a different direction than where you see the world is going, right? There was some type of divine spark. You may not have a clue what it means, what it is, who did it, who didn't do it. You may not know any of the actual details, which is why you have to go through your degrees. So by the time you reach the level of the universe or the world, you have a clear understanding of the microcosm as well as the macrocosm. Meaning, not only do you understand the workings of the world or the earth, the planet Earth, you also understand the workings of the stars, the wandering stars as well as the fixed stars that we call the zodiac, right? So they become one and the same to you, as above, so below, right? You have mastered the art of correspondence because you know how to correspond what is going on above you, and you can look to see the results of what's going on above you right in front of your eyes, right in front of your face. Every day we have the opportunity to verify exactly what's going on in the stars. We don't ever have to speculate if we understand that these things will occur right before you. It's not that you really have to do much because the people will show you exactly what's going on in the stars. So, for the times where people just seem a little bit more angry or irritated, there's a reason behind that. And other times when people seem more peaceful, open, and friendly, there's a reason behind that. And that reason has nothing to do with what's actually going on in the people's life or what is not going on, the decisions that they're making versus the decisions that they are not making. Because the planets, the wandering stars, and the fixed stars influence our psyche, meaning our unconscious mind, meaning it's not conscious. You have to bring it up into your consciousness. But the root of it starts in the unconscious mind, which are the hidden chambers that we call our memories, mainly the things that you don't even think about from a day to day basis. So when we talk about the things that are conscious, these are things that we put into the forefront of our mind, the things that you have to accomplish on a day to day basis. When it comes to the unconscious, this is not really, dealing with what's going on a day to day basis. This is dealing with your memory, what you remember and what you do not remember, right? Most of us, you can say, only remember a small percentage of our memories. Like when you look at the entirety of your life and you think about what you actually remember for all the years you have been here, you probably only remember a very small fragment of everything that has occurred to you, right? Because it is simply impossible to keep all these things at the forefront of your mind. Some things must go into the unconscious in order to be preserved, right? So you can say it's just not necessary for you to remember all of these things at all times. However, if we're talking about you are the energy that makes this world move, the reason I'm saying that is you are the energy generator, meaning your rhythm, your vibes, your energy, right? Your aura. This is what people pick up from us. It's not even so much the words that we speak. It's everything that is not tangible that leaves an impression on people. It's not even the tangibles, it's the intangibles, right? And when it comes to the intangible reality, this is where we dominate because we are energy beings. However, most people don't understand how energy actually works. Most people have no idea how dark matter and dark energy works. These are things that we are still figuring out, especially on the world stage, on the scientific stage, right? We're just now coming into the understanding of the quantum mechanics and quantum physics, things of that nature, right? These things are still new to us, right? You know, every year, more and more, basically, as technology advances, there's a reason why technology advances. There's a reason why things get smaller and smaller and more compact to the point where now everybody has a smartphone in their pocket. That would not have been possible without the discovery of quantum mechanics. So every time we have a technological advancement, it's because somebody discovered something new. What's up, Harpy's Nest? Salute to you. Somebody discovered something new that allowed us to do things that we could not have done before. So these things are not random. What I'm saying is, we don't know who these people are now, do we? If I ask you right now, who discovered quantum physics? Do you know that person's name just off the top of your head? 9 times out of 10, we don't. But we know exactly everything the iPhone does. We know everything that the Android does. We know everything that the Apple computer does. We know everything that the Windows computer does, everything that the Linux system does, so on and so forth, right? So we benefit from someone else's hard work, and we have no idea who this person or who that team was because these people are never put out into the forefront. But we benefit off of their work, but their names remain unknown. We may never know who these people are. These people may never do an interview. They may never be on a YouTube. They may never make a video, right? So what I'm saying is all of the people that is putting in the work that allows us to be technomancers, that allows us to be cyber magicians, that allows us to have the freedoms and liberations that we have in the 21st century, we don't know who these people are. Mostly they get overshadowed by the bigger names. You know, the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk. Everybody knows the bigger names. But if we look at, for example, Elon Musk was a part of PayPal before he started getting involved with, Tesla and, the space stuff. But of course, he didn't do any of the work just by himself. Of course, it required a team, it required organization. Names that we probably would never know who actually did the footwork. You could say someone has the vision. You could say the Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musk, the Bill Gates. You have the one who has the vision. But the ones who actually have to do the mathematical calculations and come up with the new formulas, these people, again, we don't know who these people are. We will never know who these people are. And it's a reason why these people remain unknown and unnamed. Sometimes it's really within their contract to the point where they can't even speak publicly. Like right now, if you work at Twitter, you can't just go and do an interview about the inner workings of Twitter. You will violate your contract and effectively lose your job if you speak about the inner workings, if you begin to name drop about who's doing what. So it's really by contract that the names and the energy, the people that's really making this thing work, they cannot speak. It's like a NDA, right? Non-disclosure agreement, right? So most of the people that's really putting in the work are under contract. So they're not allowed to speak to the public, especially about the inner workings of what is going on behind the scenes. Now you can say there are pros and cons to that. The pros is, we can benefit, things become commercial, things can be manufactured on a grand scale, and that allows everyone to have access to the technology that we have access to, right? But the con is, imagine if it was you, in a sense of, what if you made a new discovery? What if you figured out one of the six unsolvable mathematical problems? Because it is six. mathematical problems that are unsolvable or they have yet to be solved. And the person that solves one of these formulas will be rewarded $1 million, something that most people have no clue about. Meaning, we can talk about how hard it is to make it in life and how the government withholds capital from the people and how things are systematic, how things are racist, so on and so forth. We can say all that all day. But when they say we're going to give you $1 million to crack this code that we can't even solve, then this is letting you know that this is where they put the value in. What's up, Ty? Peace. Salute to you. Much love and respect, Queen. This is where the value is. The true value is cracking the codes of the matrix because that's how we advance, right? You had a breakthrough, but the ORG takes credit for it because you're under contract and you can't disclose your achievement. Exactly. So when you decide to work for a major corporation, that's essentially what you have to agree to. You have to agree to do the work that you have been assigned to do, but you have to remain infamous. And that's a decision that most people make because they pay you very well to do that. They pay you very well to remain behind closed doors. That's why they are called good jobs. Most people with good jobs work behind the scenes. They're not in the forefront. They are not the face of a corporation. They are not the face of a company. They pay you well to sit back and do what you do best. Then they take the credit. Because when it's all said and done, who are we going to remember? Right? I just came in. Well, yeah, we just really getting started. We just really getting started. They pay you well to remain unknown. And the people that we remember is going to be the Elon Musk, the Bill Gates, the Jeff Bezos, so on and so forth, right? Those are going to be the names we remember. We're not going to know the names of all the people who had good jobs, was able to take care of their family, own homes, drive nice cars, live a glorious life. So they get all the perks, but they don't get the credit or the recognition. So this is what I'm saying. All of the people that's really putting in that work, they are basically being paid off so that the credit is given to the face. Also, the Steve Jobs, right? We remember Steve Jobs, but we don't remember all the people that really put in the work behind the scenes. And again, we will never know who these people are, not on the world stage, maybe on an individual level, but not on the world stage, right? This is done on purpose because they know at the end of the day, if you are able to attach your name to some type of invention or some type of creation, that solidifies you in history. So even if, for example, Nikola Tesla died, you could say, in poverty, but we know his what he contributed to the world is timeless. We remember his name. We remember his name because he wasn't under any contracts. We remember his name because he had to go outside of the system. Remember, he believed in free energy. That's why I'm talking about energy, right? So he had the vision, but they refused to fund him. Why? Because they just wanted him to be a worker for another major corporation. Thomas Edison, right? If we properly know the history, Thomas Edison was actually the businessman. So all of the things that we credit Thomas Edison doing, most of the work he didn't do, he just took credit for it. And because he took credit for it, that's the name that we remember in history. And the person that was actually doing all of the work, we will never know who that is. It's because most of the time, the people that's really doing all the work look like me. They look like you, right? And the system, this is the only way for the system to work. The only way for the system to work is for you to remain infamous. It's for you to have no credits. It's for you to have no royalties. It's for you to have no ownership, right? Why is it so why that's why it's so hard for artists to have ownership of their masters, to have ownership of their publishings. They have to fight tell and new tell. What am I trying to say? Like I'm trying to use phrases I've heard, but I don't even know what it means. Like tell and tooth for some shit that they say, right? Tell, whatever, right? They have to fight basically with their bare hands just to get what they're already owed. We see this all the time, right? The biggest records that have been created are probably not owned by the artist that created it, right? Hard to patent your inventions too. And this is done on purpose because this will solidify you in history. And that's the last thing they want to do. Why? Because this is how they can control history. If they leave you out of it, they are in control of the narrative. So while the world knows Thomas Edison, we know Nikola Tesla, right? The system has a really easy time stealing other people's shit because, again, this is how America was brought into existence. This is what the Pilgrims came and did 1492. So this has been the plan since the beginning. So this is nothing new. This is just how they work. This is just a place of thieves. I'm always talking about the trickster spirit. They embody the energy of the trickster spirit and they push that energy onto you. Because that would be the only reason why you would agree to something like this. Because you're like, well, why would people agree to have a nice life but to not be remembered in history? Unless you yourself are a trickster as well. Meaning, okay, I'll take the good life. Fuck being remembered in history. For some people, it's worth it. They're like, I don't give a fuck about being remembered in history. I don't give a fuck about generational wealth. So as much as we can talk about that, generational wealth, building generational wealth, we got all these ideas, right? In cautious community, everybody talks about generational wealth. Like, where is the generational wealth? Well, most of us signed over our rights. It's our own fault. We never allowed ourselves to be solidified in history. We never allowed ourselves to have the ownership in the publishing so that we can pass it down to the future generation. We keep putting ourselves in a position to where we have to start from scratch because those who came before us chose a different route. They didn't care about being remembered in history. What's up, Immortal 72, 93? All right. So, if you do decide to put your name on that cornerstone, then expect all of the powers that be to come against you and to slander your name. So, yeah, they remember you, but now you got that so called Hitler stigma. That's what they do to you. So if you do decide to take the alternative route, they're going to put a stigma on your name. Hence Bill Cosby. Hence R. Kelly. Men who were great, who are great, but have a stigma on their name and they will be remembered in history, but they will be remembered with a stigma. And that happens to a lot of us way more than we even realize, right? Michael Jackson, as great as he was, he will forever have that stigma on him, now won't he? This is just how they do us. So if you want to go that other route, it will come at a cost. It will come at a price. And honestly, most people are not willing to pay that price, so most of us just cop out. But when we cop out, again, we set up the next generation to repeat the same mistakes that we repeated. And then we wonder why we're not getting anywhere, why we don't have communities, why we're being treated like trash on the world stage. Because the world is looking like, well, you're doing it to yourself, and they're right. We fall victim to our own vices. That's what we do. So we're going to make the hottest music. We're going to be the best writers. We're going to invent all the dances. We're going to we're going to revitalize the culture. We're going to do all the things you see us do, and most of us will not even be remembered. It's the same thing in the hip hop culture. We know the bigger names, the Drakes, the Kendrick Lamars, the J. Cole's, but these are not the people that laid the foundation, right? The people that really laid the foundation, we don't know who these people are. These people never became mainstream. But it's because of those people that we even have a mainstream in the first place, that hip hop is even recognized on the world stage, excuse me. Because it was a point where, as we know, everybody was against hip hop. Hip hop wasn't ever accepted. Hip hop was never accepted, just like we were never accepted. They make us feel like foreigners in our own country. Like you don't even belong here, right? So, just like every other time, we just rather take the money. We don't want to deal with the headache. We don't want to struggle our whole life. We don't want to die broke, right? Those who break, those who break the curse are, what's up, Monta? Those who break the curse are causing disruption, but it's too many who cooperate and love true illusionary comforts of humanity. Because it's natural to do that. See, it's just human nature. It's human nature to want food, clothing, and shelter. It's just human nature to want comfort. It's human nature to not want to worry about where your next meal is coming from, how you're going to pay your bills. That's just human nature, right? So that's what ends up happening. We end up being humans when we're supposed to be gods and goddesses, devils, Lucifers, right? We end up being humans, and humans love comfort. Humans don't want to go to war. Humans want comfort. Hence everything that's happening in Ukraine, right? We're sending all our money to Ukraine because we're not trying to fight. We're not trying to pick up no gun and fight somebody else's war, but we will fund it, right? This is what we do. So essentially, this is coming out of all of our taxes. Every single one of us has to pay taxes, and a certain portion of those taxes are being allocated to a war so that you don't have to fight it. That's why we have so much inflation right now, because we don't want to put in that work. So the cost of us not wanting to put in that work, inflation. We have a president like Joe Biden, one of the most corrupt presidential parties ever. But the reason why it works is because he got the formula. And what I mean by he got the formula is that's why they're exporting all the jobs. That's why all the oil is coming from other places. We have to rely on other countries instead of creating jobs here on American soil. We would rather get it from elsewhere. Why? Because we would rather be comfortable. We don't want to give up our comfort. We ain't trying to pick up no gun and go to war. So the cost of that is they're going to tax the fuck out of you. And that's exactly what's going on. They're going to hit your pockets deep so that you can sit back, so that I can sit back, and we can continue to pretend like life is just going to always be this way, all the way till the point where we lose. Because if Ukraine does not emerge victorious, things are not just going to go back to normal, right? We have to do something about it. And honestly, that's the only time we ever do anything, when somebody is knocking on your door telling you, okay, things are about to change. So Nefertiti, greetings, Queen. Salute to you, peace and love. So this is what happens. We're comfortable. You can say we're damn near lazy. Let's just be honest, right? America has made us this way. America is a master at allowing other people to fight for us. We're doing the same thing in Haiti, but that's just not being reported, right? Because that goes against the theme. The theme is Ukraine, 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 Ukraine. Rarely, if ever, do we hear about what's going on in Haiti. They're going through just as big of a crisis. Their government is absolutely corrupt. The people don't trust it. The people are taking power into their own hands. The gangs are stopping the imports and the exports. They feel like they are doing what they have to do to maintain their power. They're doing the very thing that we refuse to do. They had to take things into their own hands because they realize that, damn, all this is funded by America, but it's not for us. It's against us. It's to take our power away. That's why it's not going to be televised. Like, when the last time you heard about what's going on in Haiti? They're not talking about that shit on the news. They're not reporting on that, but it's happening. But it doesn't fit the narrative. So it's not going to make the mainstream news. You got to go to alternative sources to even truly know what's going on. That just lets you know how deep the corruption goes. Because they don't want to put the image in your mind that these people had the gall to stand up for themselves and they are defending their rights as people, taking power into their own. They don't want you to see that. They don't want that imagery to even to be in you. But every day we're gonna hear about Ukraine. Every day we're gonna hear about other people fighting a war because we refuse to. And what's happening in Haiti will forever just they're just whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. That's how we plan it, right? So we must understand these things. So that's why I titled this. You're not going to get the credit. They want you to crack the codes. They want you to work for them. They want to give you a good job. They want to give you a middle class lifestyle. They want to make you feel like you just above, the have-nots. Okay, you're no longer in poverty, so you get to enjoy somewhat of the spoils of life. You get to go on vacation, live in a nice neighborhood. They want you to move in that direction. They ain't trying to make you, okay, everybody pick up guns and we're going to defend our own territory like they have to do over there. So that's why we don't hear that, because they don't want that imagery in your mind. So not only did we cause that issue, they're fighting back against it. It's like a Haitian Revolution 2.0. But they don't want another American revolution. You see how the politics work? Haiti is going through another Haitian revolution, but they don't want an American revolution because that's not a part of the plan. Because an American revolution, you could say, would destroy the middle class. So now it's just the have and the have-nots. The line becomes very clear about who has and who does not. And what that does is now all the people that don't have will merge together to take from those who do have, because they have an overwhelmingly large majority of the resources. It's absolutely ridiculous. But we don't think about these things because, again, we're comfortable. We're comfortable with the little we do have. So we're not thinking about Elon Musk's $184 billion. We're thinking about, our little stash. And we're just happy with that, which is exactly how they want us to feel, right? So the game is very tricky, right? Exactly. It'll be no buffer for the higher ups to hide behind. The buffer is the middle class. The buffer is, as long as you're comfortable, as long as they keep us lazy, then we're always going to be looking at our neighbors. We're going to always be looking down on the person that doesn't have them. Like, we hear that all the time. Get a job. Get a job. But if you want something, go get a job. Right? It's all about get a job. It's all about work for a corporation. Right? We all hear the same thing from the same people. It's like everybody has the same mentality because unless you break the code, how would your mentality be any different? So that's how we know that this is a program. If my mother and my grandmother, my great grandmother saying the same thing that your mother said, your grandmother said, your great grandmother said, why are they all telling us the same thing? They weren't talking about ownership. They didn't tell you to pick up a gun and go to war. They didn't say utilize your pen and fight. They're like, okay, we fought, but we don't want you to. We want you to chill. We did all the fighting. Y'all chill. But the fight was never over. The war was never over. The battle may have been won, but the war was not won. So that's because we have short-term thinking. So we were only thinking about the battle. We wasn't realizing that this is a greater war, right? That's why what happened in Afghanistan happened the way it did. We had to leave immediately, and we had to leave our own American people behind enemy lines. Why did we leave our people behind no, behind enemy lines, excuse me? Why did we leave our people, our American people, behind enemy lines? Something that never had to happen. Why did we make it so like it just there was no preventing it? So reason behind all this, as you see, all of this foreign politics is going to hell. We see what's happening in Ukraine. We see our relationship with China. We see our relationship with Russia. We see what's going on in Haiti. All of our foreign politics is just all over the place. It just seems like it's chaos, right? And the catch 22 is, excuse me, Joe Biden is supposed to be a master at this. He's like a 40 plus year politician, and he mastered in foreign affairs. So when it comes to foreign affairs, he is supposed to be the best knower. He's supposed to know more than mostly anybody in politics. He is supposed to be the best knower. But as we see, everything that's dealing with foreign affairs is just being drained. We're losing money. We left all those weapons in Iraq. Billions of dollars of weapons just left, and they just took it, and the Taliban just took over with American weapons. And then they hunted down the people that we left, and they were executed if they were not able to escape. Right? It seems like okay. Does this seem like somebody who's calling the plays? Does it seem like that they are masters at their craft, or they're just winging it? And then we make excuses as if the only reason we make excuses is because we had to choose the lesser of two evils. The lesser of two evils is we could not have Trump in here. Trump had to leave. There could not be 8 years of Trump. They just refused that reality. So we're going to choose corruption over another 4 years of Trump. This is just a decision that we made. That's why nobody, like the Democrats and all that, they would not dare to speak ill about the Democrats or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. Even though we don't even hear from her, it's as if she's not even the vice president. When is the last time you even heard about Kamala Harris? But she's a vice president. When the last time you even heard her name? We were so happy. Oh, this is the first black woman president, right? We had so much energy for her. We were just so proud that oh shit, she's making history, which she did, but at what cost? See, we didn't see the play right in front of us. Like, yeah, we're going to make you the first black woman, in the highest position. Yeah, we're going to do that, but we're going to make you look like a fool at the same time. See, we didn't see the play. We were too emotionally invested. So that's why they won. That's why Joe Biden won. He got that black woman. He got that black queen. And I don't even want to disrespect her, but we just got played. hate that she had to be the pawn. You know what I mean? Because we respect the black woman, we respect the queen. So I hate that she had to be the pawn, but that's just the play they ran on us. They just was too advanced. We got too caught up in the emotionalism. We got too caught up in the sensationalism of it all. We just love seeing her, in a position of power. But you see, when she got the power, it's not really too much she can do. That's why they put her in charge of the southern border, the border crisis, as they call it, right? It was her responsibility to fix the border crisis. Even though soon as Joe Biden took office, he completely stopped the building of the wall that Trump, put in place. And they talk about they're trying to stop it at the root cause. So they're trying to stop the root causes of it, which is you're not going to stop the root cause because the root cause is poverty. People are coming into America by any means and sacrificing their life to get here because of poverty. You're not going to stop that. It just is what it is. That's why people are risking their freedom, their liberation. They will die on their way here. Right? All I heard, she's responsible for locking niggas up. Yeah, that's her history before she was vice president. Yeah, she locked a lot of niggas up. That's her history. She was not afraid to throw the book at niggas. She was not afraid. Motherfuckers is still locked up right now because of what she did, right? So that's what she actually did. But that's the sacrifice she had to pay to get to the position she got to. That's just the price that she was willing to pay. You want to be vice president, you got to lock some niggas up. You got to do some blood sacrifices. Blood sacrifice. That was the cost, and she was willing to pay it. She was willing to pay the cost, right? Can you blame her? Because majority of us would have did the same thing. Not talking about us here, but majority of us, whether we want to call it the black people, the black community, all this bullshit. There is no black people. There is no black community. These are all political terms. So, but just to be politically correct, most black women probably would have did the same thing. Just like most black men probably would have did the same thing. Because we're just built to be that way. So honestly, it's not really too far fetched. Because most of us, again, that we want that lifestyle. Because I'm sure she's living a great life. That's what I am sure about. I'm not sure about nothing else. I'm not sure about the politics. I'm not sure, but I am sure that her life is great. That's what I am sure about. Right? That's what I know for sure. She's kicking back right now. Her job is easy. She's kicking her feet up. This is probably the easiest job she's ever had in her life. So, what black woman would not want that, honestly? What black man wouldn't want that? What white man wouldn't want that? What white man wouldn't want to be Joe Biden? You in your 70s and you the president. You can do whatever you want. You can be as corrupt as you want. Who wouldn't want it? Who wouldn't want that? And we're just talking about the majority of the people. Majority of the people will be doing the same thing. That's why I try not to really I don't really talk. I don't like talking about individuals because I understand this is a collective consciousness. This is not an individual problem. This is a collective issue. But it's a disease that is allowed to fester, just like COVID, right? COVID came from a lab. That's the synopsis right now, right? They're trying to get to the bottom of where did COVID come from? Did it come from China? And if it did come from China, did we fund it? Gain of function research, right? So even if it happened in China, it was through American dollars. There's also biolabs in Ukraine. Somehow America is so invested in developing disease that's not naturally occurring in nature. We're manufacturing disease. Then we have Fauci. So the same person that was overlooking AIDS when AIDS became a thing back in the 80s. And they blamed it on gay men. Gay men are just having too much sex. They're just too wild. They created a whole new disease because they said it started in the gay community first. So at first, back in the 80s, it was considered a gay disease because that's where it started, right? That's just the official story. So somehow, even though gay men have always existed, they've been fucking the shit out of each other forever, but somehow in the 80s, they were just fucking too much and they caused HIV to occur. What did we do? We went with it. We believed it because Fauci said so. And this is the same person we believe that COVID just happened. Because he does not believe that COVID originated in the lab. That's not his perspective. He like, oh, this occurred naturally. Same thing with HIV. Oh, this occurred naturally. This just came from fucking. They were just fucking like they've been fucking. They should have been using condoms. And that's what happened right now. People are not even comfortable having sex without condoms. We don't see the play. Now they work on your vice. Now we don't feel comfortable though. If it's not a condom, we can't even fuck. I may catch something. Even though we've been fucking since the beginning of time, right? Like, cause before HIV and AIDS, people was use it or not, right? But once HIV came, once AIDS, like, okay, yeah, I'm not about to put my life on the line. Now people feel like they're putting their life on the line if there is no protection involved. That's just a reality. People don't feel comfortable even engaging sexually without that. It is what it is, right? Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. So, you know, I'm just stating the obvious, but maybe it isn't obvious, right? So I call it you are the energy that makes this world go round. But they just not gonna give you the credit, right? Because it's us doing the fucking. They got that condom money, exactly. We made them rich and they put fear in us. Now we're afraid to do something natural because of fear. So from fear, we made them rich, and that's the same thing with any other program. Whatever the government wants to get rich off, they got to put fear in you first. It's the same thing with the pharmaceutical industry. People feel like if they don't get their medicine, people will go crazy if they can't get their medicine. Let the people that's addicted to Adderall and shit, let them not be able to get their Adderall. They going ham. Let people not get their hypertension pills. They going crazy if they don't have access to their medicine. They will tear this bitch down. They will tear this bitch down. If they can't get their opiates, they will tear this bitch down. It's just that the energy is misplaced. It's like we gotta be denied. As soon as they deny us our vices, then we're ready to go to war. Imagine that. Imagine that. They take away our vices. We ready to go to war. Look at prohibition. All you gotta do is look at the history. Go back to prohibition when they banned alcohol, which is how the mafia gained power because the mafia kept that alcohol going, kept that moonshine going to the point where they had to legalize it. They didn't legalize alcohol because alcohol was ever something good. They legalized it because they were losing too much money to the underworld. It's the same thing with marijuana. You think it's legal because, oh, it's healthy. They been knew that shit. They been knew the medical effects of marijuana, of THC. They been knew that. They only legalized it because there was just too much money being made in the underworld. Money that they realize we can get this money. Why are we allowing the cartels to get the money in the underworld and the streets to get the money where we can get the money? That's just another tax for the American people. So yeah, okay, we're gonna sell you your weed, but now we gotta tax you for it. See, I know y'all know about that weed tax, right? For those who are in the legal states, you know about that weed tax. Fucking ridiculous. We know about that tobacco tax for the cigarette smokers out there, the blunt smokers out there. We know about those taxes. Fucking ridiculous, right? But we ready to go to war. if you take away that tobacco, you ready to go to war. Take away that alcohol, you ready to go to war. Fuck it. If you take away motherfucking fast food, people be ready to tear this bitch down. Anything that gives us a chemical imbalance, we ready to destroy over. Imagine that. We will fight to maintain our own chemical imbalance because that's all the medicine is doing is creating a chemical imbalance, putting it in your mind that you need it. And all this does is take away from our energy. Remember, you are the energy. You are the power source. But when they give you the vices, all it does is drain our energy. Right? We love to smoke that shit, drink that shit, just feel good. It's all over the place. But then we misuse our energy. Our energy is misused. So we can no longer be the face of the world, right? The world is looking at us. As we know, the world is looking at us. The world is looking at hip hop. The world is looking at our culture. What are they gonna do? Because we are under a predicament that nobody else in the world is under. Like we can say like China is more, of authoritarian society. You say anything bad about the president, they come into your house. Versus over here, we can talk shit about Joe Biden all day. We can talk shit about Trump all day, and nothing happens to us because we got freedom of speech. Everybody doesn't have freedom of speech. So of course we look at them over there like, okay, that's I could never be in a situation like that, right? But this isn't necessarily better because although we have the freedoms, those freedoms comes with also the access to vice, and that vice creates a chemical imbalance. And when we are chemically imbalanced, we're willing to fight just for the wrong reasons. It's just so easy to get us riled up. It's so easy to get us riled up, right? For the wrong reasons, not the right reasons, but the wrong reasons. Again, for comfort, we want to be comfortable. Doing drugs makes us comfortable. I know smoking weed makes you comfortable. Eating whatever the fuck you want to eat makes us comfortable. Doing whatever the fuck we want to do, exercising our free will, makes us comfortable. We feel like we on top of the world, right? We feel like we on top of the world. This is funny as fuck. I'm trying to be serious. I can't even be serious right now. These glasses do look funny though. I can't even be serious right now. But I don't want to be that serious. So even though this is a serious topic, that's why I'm switching out the glasses. But I know, I'm just trying to just ease the mood, right? So we can be serious without, it fucking up the mood, right? But it's also a reminder that we are the energy. The evil scientist, y'all funny as oh shit. We are the energy. That's the point of the video. The point of the video, we are the energy. So we can have these serious conversations. We can, just be conscious about what's going on so that we can not get caught up in it. But at the same time, we are the energy. We are the coolest people on the planet. We do have the most energy. We have the most stamina, right? That's what everybody's looking at us. They waiting for us to make a move. But we waiting on everybody else to make a move. They waiting on us to make a move. But the only thing that's gonna get us riled up, the police gotta kill us, right? We either gotta get killed by the police or they gotta stop women from having abortions, right? We march for that. So when they say, oh no, you can't get abortions, oh, we marching for that. You look like a breaker. So that's about to explode right doing experiments. Oh shit. I'm on my Jack Parkinson's. I'm on my Jack Parkinson's, right? For those who can catch that, who can catch the drift. I'm on my Jack Parkinson's. Yeah. But that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just switching out the glasses. Y'all think I'm playing? Like, y'all think I'm playing? Like, oh shit. Oh shit. I got something else for you. Oh shit. Oh. So y'all see what I've been up to. You'll see what I've been up to. I'm like, okay, how can I make this more interesting? Right. So that's why I use myself as a vessel, right? I'm like, let me make this interesting, so I can be serious but not too serious, right? So I want y'all to, want to take heed to my words, but don't take it too seriously. You know what I mean? I don't want to fuck up nobody's mood. I want to leave with the energy of just know that your power and your energy cannot be matched, especially when you are at your peak of consciousness. They can't do nothing with you. They can't cast their spells on you. They can't cast an evil eye on you. They can't trick you with their trickery when you on top of your game. The only way that they can play the tricks is if they keep you off of your game. That's why they want us to be in a chemical imbalance that takes us off our game. That's why it's so easy for us to be manipulated to the point where we're signing contracts that's not in our best interest whatsoever, and we still do it. A chemical imbalance. Because if we were perfectly sane, you're like, yo, that it just would make no sense. It's just like me at the table, just like you at the table. We're not signing nothing that is not going to be beneficial to us in the long term. Why would we ever favor a short term benefit over a long term benefit? When has that ever been healthy? Like we'd rather take $1 million up front than $100,000 up front with ownership and royalties. Because when you get that million, oh shit, I'm a millionaire. We rather have the title of a millionaire than to have the publishing and the ownership and become millionaires eventually down the line. The hotter and hotter we make ourselves, and I'm just using that as an example. Between the short term gain and the long term gain, for whatever reason, we keep falling victim to this short term gain when they throw money at you, amounts that you never had, and you think it's a lot of money, but to them, they know that they're going to make that 10 times over, 100 times over, especially if they have ownership. So whatever they give you one because they know that they're going to make 10, or they're going to potentially make 100. So that 1 million, don't they about to make that right back? Because every time somebody want to play your song, play your music, play your movie, whatever it is, they going to release it to the people, and they're going to be able to do it. And we don't have no say so. And so many of us are in that situation where somebody else has our rights and our publishing, and we don't have no say so as to how it's utilized. So all they do is shop it around in the market. Now you hearing your song in Hollywood. Now you seeing your styles in Hollywood. They stole the styles. They, you know what I mean? Because they want to be amongst you. They want to be around you because you are the energy. So of course they want to be around you. Of course they want to know what you think. Of course they want to know how you see things. Of course they want to know that because they're going to do their best to mimic it. I mean, all you gotta do is really look at other countries and how how they mimic hip hop. You see hip hop all over the world. They got the image, but they don't have the culture within them. Because you got to come to the homeland to get this culture and the authentic nature. You got to come here to get the culture. Everybody else, they can look the part, they can look good, smell good, got the drip, got the splash, they got all that. But the culture is intangible. These are just the tangible things about the culture, but the culture itself is intangible. In order to get those intangible pieces, you got to come to the motherland. You got to come to the homeland. But majority of those people ain't willing to do it. I'm just talking about those in different countries. How many people do you know? But also, that's why you don't see too much music being done with other types of artists. What I mean by that is you don't see too many American artists doing music with Japanese artists or Chinese artists, right? Indian artists and all that, right? We should think like we would be doing that all the time, but you don't really see that too much. Why? Because you got to be an owner. You have to own your publishing to even do that, because the record label is going to tell you no. Okay, I want to do a record with this Japanese artist. No, that's not going to work. They don't have the vision. But that's what happens when you put your destiny in somebody else's hand. Now they telling you what you can and can't do, what's cool and what's not cool. Now you done gave over your power when you realize, damn, that no, that's a perfect move, but you can't even execute the move if you're not an owner and you don't have your publishing. So you can't even execute the moves that you know will be beneficial beneficial to the culture as a whole. So that's why the culture is stagnant. Because of the moves that we really need to bust, we're not even able to bust it because the corporations are telling you, no, you can't do that. That's out of your league. They're dictating what you can and can't do, what artists you can and can't work with. They are truly in control of your destiny. And in exchange, they're going to give you a nice life. Here, take this $1 million and be okay. Go buy some jewelry, right? Go buy a car. Be comfortable, right? So that's what it is, right? I think I made myself clear here. It's just a reminder. You are the energy. And when you allow your energy, when you allow your energy, when you are not in control of your energy, rather, when you are not in control of your energy, then you can't bust these moves that the culture really needs you to bust in order to extend the lifestyle and the lifeline of the culture. Certain moves that needed to be bust last year, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. We should have been working with artists from all around the world. But the reason why that don't happen because that's going to change the whole dynamics of the world. The world changes when we decide that it's time for it to change, not when nobody else decides. Meaning somebody in China, them having a revolution is not going to affect what we do over here. But when we have a revolution, it's going to affect what's going on over there. And how do we know that? All you got to do is go back to George Floyd. Why were they marching in Asia about some shit that happened over here? When the last time we was marching about some shit that happened over there? When did you get up out the bed and march and protest over something that happened in China, something that happened in India? But they gonna get up out their bed about some shit that's happening in the streets of America. So we know who have the juice. We just have to come into the realization that we have to make moves in an infamous way. Infamous means I'm gonna be the owner. I'm gonna own my publishing. I'm gonna own my rights. I'm gonna own my patents, and that's gonna make my life harder. It's not gonna make my life easier. It's gonna make my life harder. But I'm able to bust moves that other people are not able to bust. Now you can do things with different type of people and cultures that you would not be allowed to do. So that's why they say hip hop is dead. Hip hop is dead because hip hop is something that needs to continue to grow. It needs to continue to expand. New things need to occur, right? But of course, when they are in control of the game, why would they want something new to occur? Why would they want hip hop to generate a new sound instead of capitalizing off the old sound? No, make more drill music, make more trap music. You're like, that's kind of, those phases are kind of phasing out. No, 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 keep that up. We need more death. We need more violence. Well, what if I want to speak life? No, 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 that's not going to sell. We're not going to push that record. We're not going to market that record. We're not going to distribute it. Matter of fact, we're about to shelf your whole project until you get in line. That's how they do that. They get real wicked on you. We're going to shelf your whole project until you come to the understanding that we run shit. They get real pilgrimish on your ass. All right? And what do? We just comply like good old boys and girls. Because we get to go back to mansions and, stunt on the people that don't have anything. Right? Go make an Instagram video. Right? They got their pawns mixing pop, hip hop with rave music now. Which is, you see, we don't need that at all. At all. Like, there's nothing innovative about that. And it's like, why is that even a thing when there's so much music in this world? We shouldn't even be thinking about pop. Like, hip hop is so beyond pop at this point, but it's like for whatever reason, it's like the only trend you can only transition from like rap to pop. You can be like a rap artist and you can kind of go into pop. Some of the rap artists may do some poppy music. Some of them even do like some country music. But again, that's still local shit. That's still local shit, right? Where's the Asian music? Where's the Indian music? Where's the Russian music? Oh, that's going too far, right? That's going too far. Because we're supposed to be enemies of Russia, right? We supposed to be anti-Russia, pro-Ukraine, right? We're supposed to hate Vladimir Putin and love Zelensky, right? Zelensky is supposed to be our hero, so you can't even mention Russia around certain people without them tightening up and looking at you crazy. Even though you see that it's supposed to be a free country, everybody is entitled to their opinion. But I guarantee you go anywhere being pro-Russia, they gonna look at. They don't even want to hear your opinion. They're already gonna judge you and put you in a box. They're not gonna ask you, well, why do you support Russia over Ukraine? They're not trying to hear you out. It's gonna be an emotional response, right? So we know how this shit go. We know how this shit goes. So don't fall victim to it. That's why you be the god, be the goddess, be the devil, be the Lucifer, be the Baphomet, right? So y'all get what it is, right? You can see what I see, right? You see what I see, right? Because right now I'm seeing orange. I'm seeing the color orange right now. I'm in the sacral chakra right now. I'm seeing sacral chakra. I'm in the sex chakra right now, right? So I'm just activating my color magic. So for anybody like, what are you doing? I'm just activating my color magic. That's what I'm doing. It's just me activating my color magic. So this is just the way I'm doing it. Now, of course, anybody can do it the way they want to do it, but this is just the way I'm activating my color magic. All right. So I think y'all get the point. I don't really need to drag this on no longer, right? So unless anyone has any questions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up for the morning. So I can't even say the night. It's like fucking 1:30 in the morning. Right? But I appreciate everybody for watching and tuning in. I'm always thankful and respectful. Y'all take time out of y'all morning, to fuck with me. It's 7:30 over here. Like, God damn. God damn. I have no idea where you were. 7:30. I have no idea what time zone that is. But shout out to you. I don't even know what time zone that is. Now I'm seeing red. Now I'm in a root chakra. Right? I banged out from the USA. Apparently so, because I have no idea what time zone that is. But salute to you for having the courage to do so. Right? Salute to you. And definitely, keep us up to date with what's going on where you are. Cause how else will we know? Right? That's why, we come together, we connect, we share intel, let everybody know what's going on here, let everybody know what's going on there, and we come to one ultimate conclusion, right? Everything you were saying is proper. I will hope so. I'm just looking at the same thing y'all looking at, right? I got the same vision y'all have, right? This is 93, right? Got the same eyes y'all got, same vision y'all got, right? Just opening my mouth about it. So I got the same thoughts. What's up, Zico? 6:30 p.m. God damn, y'all must be in Europe. Y'all gotta be in Europe. Y'all definitely gotta be in the EU. Fucking 6:30, 7:30. God damn. And y'all talking about PM, not even AM. Y'all talking about 6:30 and 7:30 PM. Y'all are definitely in Europe. Y'all definitely in Europe. That's crazy. But as you see, our reach is far and wide, right? Australia, what is that? Micronesia, salute to you. Salute to you. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, fucking with us Americans, right? I know we got a terrible reputation in the world, but it's only a couple. It's only a couple good of us. It's only a couple ones of us that are good. I know I said that crazy. It's only a couple of us that are righteous. Most of us are, have no self control. So, but we're going to continue to expand the influence, right? So eventually we will reach Asia. So you see, we didn't reach Europe. Now we got to reach India. Now we got to reach Asia. Now we got to reach Russia, right? Then we're like, okay, now we get the full scope. We got to reach Haiti. We got it. So once we got that collective like that, oh, it's gonna be something like people have never seen before. 93 in Asia, we've been able to tap into the grounds of Asia. And then they can really tell us what's going on instead of us having to rely on the media and their perspective of how China is or how India is, how Russia is. We'll be able to hear directly from the horse's mouth and we can get that real deal. So that's my goal. We will continue to expand, right? 93, Oceana. Salute, salute. So we're going to continue to expand and we're going to continue to get that real life. Just to let it be known that what we're doing here is universal. This is not just an American thing. It's not just a Western thing, but it's also an Eastern thing as well, right? So as long as we continue to build up this energy, as long as we continue to build up this currency, we're going to make it all the way to the east, right? So we're going to continue to put in that work. I know I'm going to continue to put in that work so that we can reach the East and get that real game. Because we ain't getting that real game in the East. They keep us locked out. We ain't getting that real game, so we're going to continue to become more and more powerful, right? So that's why I always appreciate y'all when y'all tune in, when y'all hit the like button, when y'all comment, when y'all subscribe. Because the goal is to make it to the East, so we can get the game directly from the people. Fuck the media. We need to know what's going on the ground, so they can let us know like, oh, it ain't like that over here. Y'all good to come over here. So when we do decide to make our rounds all over this planet, we know that we in good hands. So that's what it's all about. We want to make sure that we are in good hands no matter where we are. We know that we're dealing with trustworthy people that have the same vision that we have, that have the same mentality that we have, right? So that's what we're doing. Just connecting with people that got the same vision, the same mind, the same heart that we have, right? So with that, I bear peace. I'll definitely check in back in with y'all tomorrow. Again, check out the Telegram, check out the Patreon, check out the website. Check out the YouTube membership. Because all that's all different types of information, all that I'm posting all over the place, right? I'm gonna start posting more social media. I got a lot of art that I'm gonna start posting, right? So if you into the art, definitely check out the social media, the TikTok, the Facebook, the Instagram, and whatever else, right? All those links are always in the description, right? So much love and respect to the minds of the 93. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.